Well, guys, we're up and bright and early. We're in Monterrey. It's the round of 32. It's the number 7 in the world versus the number 8. Morocco versus Netherlands. And the round of 32, this World Cup has been absolutely sensational. Two games that ended up with a stoppage time winner. And of course, Paraguay beating Germany on pens early on. This is going to be a firecracker of a game. Let's go here in Monterrey. We'll host their final game of this edition's World Cup. It's Netherlands to kick things off in their all-orange kit, and this should be an absolute cracker. Well, Ronald Koeman has gone with the back three here. Good morning, Mr. Manny. Bright and early. Did you go to sleep? I don't think you did. But we're up, we're here, and we're ready. Bloody hell, Germany out, man. I was expecting the Germany-France round of 16 clash. Now it's going to be looking like France-Paraguay, and the winner of this clash meets Canada in the round of 16. And the round of 32 has thrown out nothing but shocks, upsets, and so much drama. Well, Ronald Koeman going with the back three here. Tijani Reinders dropped to the bench. Bart Verbruggen in goal, yet to keep a clean sheet in this edition's World Cup. Although Netherlands have had no issues scoring goals, that's something that they'll want to try and rectify, especially in the knockout stages, and having an outstanding defense. Nathan Ake and Jean-Paul Van Hecke flanking Virgil van Dijk, Dumfries and Van de Ven as the two wing-backs. Cody Gakpo, Somerville and Brian Brobby as the front three, the Premier League front three really. And of course, Frankie de Jong and Ryan Gravenberch as the two pivot players for the Dutch. For the number 7 team in the world, Morocco, they've gone with a very familiar lineup. Yassine Bono in goal, Mazraoui and Hakimi as the two fullbacks, Shadi Riyad and Issa Diop as the two centre-halves, Ayub Bouadi and Neil El-Yanoui, the two pivot players, with Azzedine Onai playing as the number 10, Bilal El-Khanous and Brahim Diaz as the wingers, and Ismail Saibari, who's been on fire this World Cup. Scored in every group game so far, leading the line. Well, prediction time. It's been unpredictable in the World Cup so far. Really did expect Japan to test Brazil a little bit more in that game, but Japan in that second half really drowned out there. Brazil, in the end, deserved winners. Gabriel Martinelli with that 92nd minute winner. Really was an outstanding pass by Bruno Guimaraes to open up the defense as Netherlands have the early corner. It's Crescencio Somerville who'll take it from the far side. Well, Virgil van Dijk already has a World Cup goal this edition. He'll be the obvious target. Van Hecke, he's 6'5". They've got a real presence about them, the Dutch. Nathan Ake can certainly jump. Van de Ven is a presence too. Brian Brobby will be making himself a nuisance at that far stick. Big moment in this match already here for Morocco. It's Somerville to deliver at the front stick. Somerville with a bit of... Oh, it's a decent delivery. Well defended. I think Issa Diop got the final header on it. And Morocco survive. Well, Julio Enciso opened the scoring for Paraguay and Kai Havertz equalized. And the game ended up going to pens, and Kai Havertz, Jonathan Tah, and of course Nick Woltemade missing their pens as Paraguay's fairy tale story continues to the round of 16. Ayub Bouadi battling in midfield. That's a strong challenge there by Bilal El-Khanous. He goes clattering into Mickey Van de Ven. Van de Ven is really quick across the turf, and playing as wing-back today is an interesting role for him. Started the tournament at left-back against Japan. Ooh, that could have been really nasty on Van de Ven, man. There's not too much he could have done in terms of trying to get away from it. El-Khanous goes clattering into the knee of Van de Ven. Van de Ven doesn't look in pain anymore. Here's Ayub Bouadi, who's so impressive against Brazil, man. Outstanding performance from the youngster. Teenager puffing out his cheeks and pulling out his chest out and putting on an outstanding performance in the deep. Here's Shadi Riyad. Morning, Mr. Gautam. Germany did end up chucking it away. Julian Nagelsmann. I saw that game against Ecuador, and yes, Germany had qualified, but they were so toothless in attack, man. They just play the most boring football ever, and Germany have got some soul searching to do. Their tournament stuff is like beyond abysmal at this point. It's not just Nagelsmann, though. After the 2014 World Cup, I mean, it kind of coincides with Pep Guardiola's introduction to German football because something's gone wrong. They're no longer the PNP team. You don't see those powerful guys running through the middle. I mean, the days of Balak, Fring, just lumping it up to Miroslav Klose, it's long gone now. This is a completely new style that Germany are still willing to almost back, Pep Guardiola style over the culture that worked so well for them over the years. Here's Mazraoui. The wing battle today is going to be really, really interesting, man. Both sides fully capable to exploit the wide areas. Expecting the Dutch to have a little bit more midfield control. Frenkie de Jong, an expert orchestrator of things. Bart Verbruggen finds Van Hecke. Joins Spurs from Brighton. Spurs did spend quite a bit of change on him as Brian Brobby or Issa Diop with some old school Premier League defending there. That's going to be a real good battle. Ismail Saibari against Shadi Riyad and Issa Diop. But that's the thing with Germany now. Where do they turn from here? They went to their bright young prospect in Nagelsmann. Unless they plan to hire Jurgen Klopp. Not sure where Germany go from here, and that's a decent strike. Cody Gakpo trying to Ryan Gravenberg rather trying to manufacture a bit of space. The Dutch jersey is way too orange for my eyes, man. Can't see a single number. Oh, good challenge there by Van Hecke, and bit of a rough play there. Jean-Paul Van Hecke again just moves him out of the way. Here's Denzel Dumfries. That's an outstanding carry by the wingback. Dumfries with the ball. Oh, brilliant challenge. Mazraoui and Bilal El Knous both helping out defensively. The Dutch have started well here, trying to be on that front foot. Morocco have got threat in the wide areas. Ismail Saibari in red-hot form. A bit of a rough challenge there by the all-action midfielder, Ryan Gravenberg. Been used as a number 8 rather than the number 6 position that he plays for Liverpool. Frenkie de Jong is the deepest midfielder. I'm surprised that he decided to go with a midfield 2 and not a midfield 3 with Tijani Reinders, but preferring Nathan Ake to come in and just be a bit more defensively secure. Is the Ronald Koeman way? They made these Dutch jerseys in Chernobyl. Oh my goodness, it's burning through my retinas. I can't even read their jersey numbers. Morocco jersey, no notes. Fantastic. Oh, Van Hecke caught there. Have to be careful. Bit of afters. Yes, Somerville. He gets taken down. Ooh, the game has a bit of temperature already to it. Jean-Paul Van Hecke and Bilal El Knous both having a few fisticuffs. Good start. We need a bit of needle to the game. This Van Hecke is just slightly unnecessary on Ismail Saibari. A big game for Brahim Diaz as well on that right-hand side. He's got Nathan Ake and Mickey van der Ven to contend with. Those are two really good defensive players for the Dutch. The referee quickly resolving the situation there. Well, no issues now, and we should be able to continue. It's Shadi Riyad. What we have seen in the round of 32 so far is games being taken as deep as possible by the quote-unquote underdog teams. Saw South Africa drag Canada till the 92nd minute. Japan tried their very best to hold on against Brazil. And Paraguay doing the unthinkable, taking the game to pens against a German side that just not hit their strides. Here's Issa Diop. Hakimi. Elelyanui. Him alongside Ayub Bouadi will have to showcase immense amount of composure under the Dutch pressure. Here's Mazraoui. We'll say Mazraoui. What a valuable player he is for Manchester United. Can play both right and left back, but we've seen him slot into midfield too. Yeah, this is the same Tref. Yep, as soon as I saw him, I recognized him. Hope he doesn't have to go to VAR this one and having to explain his decisions and have a smooth game. Or hopefully, he's brushed up on his English under pressure. Nah, it's not even an exit anymore. Saibari peels away. What an outstanding first touch. Denzel Dumfries does so well from right wing back. He tracks the run of Ismail Saibari, and from a Dutch point of view, it was absolutely critical. Look at Infantino. If he was present at the Germany game, this guy is not sleeping. He's there for every game. Well, Germany going out wouldn't have normally been an upset, but losing out to Paraguay, I would categorize that as an upset. Martin Bergen's ball intercepted in midfield. Brian Brobby gets clattered by Issa Diop. A lot of challenges, and I'm getting that Portugal-Netherlands vibe in 2006 where we saw 9 yellow cards, a couple of reds. It's been a physical game so far. Here's Cody Gakpo, Van der Ven, Nathan Ake. Again, the Dutch side pretty much plying the trade in the Premier League. I'm just pretty sure it's only Frankie de Jong and Denzel Dumfries, Real Madrid and Barcelona. But other than that, yep, very much Premier League heavy. Here's Nathan Ake. Ball into the channel for the Sunderland striker, Brian Brobby, and comfortable for Yassine Bono. Brian Brobby forcing his way into the starting 11. Hakimi puts on the Jets. Oh, that's very calmly done by the skipper. Van Dijk just lengthens his stride. Still plays the game at a very comfortable pace, doesn't he? Here's Van Hecker. The Dutch back three now. In possession, very much on display. Good carry this from the centre half. Finds Dumfries. Dumfries with a cross. Diop with a comfortable enough clearance. Here's Unai. Thought he was very disappointing against Brazil. This is a game where the number 8 will have to step up. Azzedine Unai got relegated with Girona. His stocks were through the roof after the previous World Cup. A couple of poor career moves and then suddenly finding himself staring down at the abyss club-wise, but can still make a name for himself with his country colours. Hilal Yanui. Shadi Riyad now. Morocco just slowing the pace of the game. Again, they need to try and get Brahim Diaz involved. We haven't seen the Real Madrid midfielder getting involved in the early stages. Just on the periphery of things on that right-hand side. Wow. What wonderful settings in Monterrey, Mexico, man. Not sure whether or not the Azteca is going to see more action, but the games are going to be being moved to the States a lot more. Ecuador versus Mexico is going to be a firecracker. Oh my goodness me. Talk about La Pasión. That will be completely on display between the two teams. Mexico using home advantage and Ecuador using the power and the prayers of their country. And Brian Brobby is just an old school physical centre forward. Shadi Riyad. It's Crystal Palace versus Sunderland on the world stage. That is going to be an old school battle. Brian Brobby is putting himself about. Here's Buadi. Starting off as the deepest midfielder, and that was a curious pass. Neither Unai nor Mazraoui going towards it. Here's Frankie de Jong. Really love watching Frankie de Jong play football, man. He's one of the most press-resistant footballers that you'll find in world football. Perfect Barcelona player, really. It was Frankie de Jong and Matthijs de Ligt who lit up the Champions League when Erik ten Hag was the manager. many moons ago. That Ajax side, full of ballers. But if you look at their career trajectory since moving from Ajax, oof, that is a rough viewing. Mexico kind of unlucky that they got the one team even better than they are at playing at altitude. Yeah, that's true. You're going to have disadvantages in the matchups. You're either going to play a side who are better than you in the rankings, better form, or teams acclimatized. But it's the knockout phase, man. You just got to play what's in front of you. Need to see some giant killing. We saw that with Paraguay beating Germany. But France, Sweden, Norway, Ivory Coast. Norway, Ivory Coast is such a difficult game to call, man. Here's Van Dijk. Can the Dutch just slowing the pace? They've been pretty free scoring in the World Cup. 10 goals scored by Ronald Koeman's men. 2-2 against Japan, 5-1 against Sweden, where Brian Brobby and Cody Gakpo both got braces, and Somerville added the fifth. Leading Tunisia 3-1-2, and on the right-hand side, Denzel Dumfries can get there first. Denzel Dumfries lets it go. What a challenge that is. Issa Diop, that is heroic defending. That should have been 1-0 to the Dutch. I think the offside flag was raised. Denzel Dumfries, who was through on goal after a wonderful clip pass. This is magnificent from Ryan Gravenberch, man. Wow. Superlative play. I think Dumfries was the one who was offside. He does the unselfish thing of just putting it across for Brian Brobby, but Issa Diop, that is world class. Somerville does everything right. Unfortunate. Well, that's how quickly the Dutch turn it on. That was outstanding play by Ryan Gravenberch, man. Wow. That was Gravenberch in a nutshell on the quick turn and then that lovely clip ball into the channel. And what this Dutch side have with Brian Brobby and Crescencio Somerville is runners. They've got real P&P runners. Yeah, it was Somerville, right? I'm telling you, man, this Dutch jersey makes this impossible. I can't see numbers. This is crazy. Here's Cody Gakpo. He's got Mickey van der Ven on his bike. Issa Diop. What a challenge that was. Unbelievable. We've seen some sensational defending in this tournament. Defenders putting their lives on the line. Here's De Jong. The Dutch just reminding us that you can just turn it on that quickly. Here's Nathan Ake. Again, it's that slow possession-based style that just lulls you as a team. Might even get you on your heels. Here's Van Hecke. Just tries to put that into the area. And Shadi Riyad and Brian Brobby. That's not the first time we've seen those two in a collision. And certainly won't be the last. Brian Brobby with a sore one on his knee. Here's Ayub Boadi. Shadi Riyad finding the Manchester United fullback, Mazraoui. El Khnous. Interesting that Onahi is playing on that left-hand side. Just peeling away. Ismail Saibari needs a bit of support because he's got pretty much three centre-halves to deal with. This is Elyanui. Hakimi. Back to the Roma midfielder. Now on the right-hand side. Morocco continuing their bit of patience. Inching their way towards the Dutch goal. And trying to just increase the tempo on the right-hand side. El Khnous. Again, the front three looking pretty fluid here. You're seeing the interchanging of positions, and corner now for Morocco. They've got a bit of presence in their box too. It looks like Nathan Ake is marking Issa Diop. Bit of a physical mismatch. It's the captain to deliver. Hakimi's ball in. It's a near post here. It's a terrific save. Bart Verbruggen at his near post. Had very little time to react. Here's Buwadi with the strike, just leans back over the crossbar. And both sides having a sighter at goal. There is a real element of spice to this game, Gautam. Good header. Very good save by Verbruggen. Mohamed Ouahabi saw his team come the closest so far. And that chance has just woken Morocco up. Now on the left-hand side, decent cutback. Brahim Diaz, what a challenge that is. Nathan Ake with a critical block. Hakimi, what a save by Verbruggen again. Hakimi hits the cover off the ball. The technique on it is perfect. Nearly catches Verbruggen at his near post again. That was top corner stuff. Saibari with the layoff. Hakimi with the strike. Oof. Morocco have woken up here. Took a bit of time. And now they're very much in the game. Another corner, near post. Poor this time. Ayub Buadi will bring that under control. Oh, risky pass. But Mazraoui, wealth of experience for the former Bayern Munich. Oh, decent ball there. Ismail Saibari turns away from the challenger Van Hecker. Onto the left-hand side. Azedine Onai. Illinois with the ball. Good defending. Nathan Ake again. That's the second critical block. Such a clever read of the game. Nathan Ake, he's very much front foot. Here's Onai. Bilal and Klus playing on that right-hand side is certainly an interesting move. They're trying to overload that right-hand side. You can see Onai, Hakimi, Bilal El Kunus, even El Yanui, all on that right-hand side. Now the cross comes in with the overload and run by Ismail Saibari. Well marshaled by Denzel Dumfries. Well, Bart Verbruggen has had to make two very good saves. The Dutch started the better of the two, but Morocco have they have woken up. That was an excellent strike by Hakimi. Yeah, Morocco can give any side a game. You do not. Oh, again, the hydration break. It's literally the worst time for Morocco as they were just starting to get a foothold in this match. The Dutch will be kind of glad. They need to go back to their possession style football. But yeah, Morocco, man. They're compact in midfield. They can play. They can compete. They're strong with the back four. The forward line is fluid. They've got Ismail Saibari, who's in red hot form. What else do you need for a side to go out there and compete? Morocco have got the goods. They've got the tools. Now it's all about trying to piece it together against very strong defensive Dutch side. But Morocco is getting those inroads. And once you create a couple of chances, that belief goes through the roof. And then you feel like, yep, we can score against this lot. I do need to have a look at that Germany-Paraguay game as to where it all went wrong for Germany. You know, in terms of style and Germany almost wanting to walk the ball into the net. But they went with the two-striker, almost second striker, Kai Havertz and Dennis Undav. But it did not work, so it's not just putting a centre forward in and things improve. It's almost like a easy way out for a coach. Got to do it with your system and the chance creation being born out of the system rather than just individual players smashing it from distance. Mikel Arteta would be absolutely loving the fact that Kai Havertz, his tournament has ended and he can get a bit of rest for next season. Missed the majority of the season with that hamstring injury. Would have been relieved to have been fit for the World Cup, but since Kai Havertz has been leading the line for Germany, their tournament performance, I mean, I don't want to pin it all on him. That would be really unfair, but starting to be a common denominator. What a stadium, man, in Monterrey. Look at that in terms of a backdrop. Oof. Picturesque. Superb. Even the players, man, traveling all the way to Monterrey, feeling that excitement in the air, knowing that you can bring delirium to your home support. Oh, Duhabi will be relatively pleased with the way that Morocco have just fought their way back into this contest. Now the hydration break means that the momentum can switch. We saw that in the Brazil-Japan game where Brazil started the better team in the opening 20 minutes. The hydration break happens and then suddenly Japan turn it on. They scored soon after it. Wait and see whether or not this has a similar effect. I have no idea, man. I have absolutely no idea how the game went. I just had enough time to have a look at the scoreline, who scored, who missed their pens. That was it. But we'll have to have a look. That was a good hook challenge there by Chadi Riyad. Well, Riyad and Issa Diop gives you a very good foundation as a defense. Premier League experience for both centre halves. That's 3 of the back 5 from the Premier League. Only Yassine Bonu, who plies his trade in Saudi, and of course Ashraf Hakimi with the back-to-back European champions Paris Saint-Germain. Here's Unai. He's dropping very deep. Good turn here by Bilal El Knous. Now playing on the left-hand side. Is that then Unai. Saibari peeling away. Unai again tries to nutmeg Frankie de Jong. Doesn't work. Play there by Ryan Gravenberg, but can't find Brian Brobby. Van Hecker will have to challenge this one. Ooh, again a bit of afters there. Azzedine Unai, that was very late. That was very, very late, and he'll be extremely fortunate if he avoids a yellow card for this challenge. Van Hecker was always getting there first. I think Unai has had a look here. I might be jumping into conclusions, but that was late. There you see, he's had a look. He's had a look. That is a late challenge by Azzedine Unai. It's extremely late, and he catches him with his elbow. Both elbows. It looked bad first viewing. It looks even worse in slow-mo, man. Van Hecker takes a crack to the jaw. Ooh, Verbruggen takes a bit of a chance. In a world where Anderson goes for 130, I'm closing my eyes and paying 80 for Bouadi. Somebody's going to do that. And if Lille just hold on for another year, they're getting 100 million for him too. Make no mistake about it. I mean, Lille are an outstanding selling club. The way that they get funds for their players. Dutch trying to mix it up with some physicality of their own. Good turn there by El Knous. Here's Mazraoui. Finds Unai. Clever pass. Bilal El Knous on the left-hand side. Clipped ball in. What a ball. That is on his left foot, man. Oh, my goodness. That was perfect. How the hell does he dig that out? In terms of the accuracy, this is wild, man. Look at this for a delivery. It is magnificent. Hakimi makes the fast take run. Oof. This is an outrageous ball. It's almost like that pitching wedge in golf. He just gets that trajectory on it. Beautiful. And at full clip too, to have that composure. Outrageous bit of skill there by Bilal El Knous. Morocco are putting themselves about. Ismail Saibari, he goes lunging in too. Well, they're certainly testing the referee's patience, and they're definitely checking his bandwidth in terms of when he'll finally get fed up and book somebody. It's been Morocco with all the fouls so far. Referee has let things continue, so might as well play on. I like Van de Ven as a left back, but as a left wing back, I'm not really sure. I mean, his ideal position would be left-sided centre half where Nathan Ake is playing. Because he's got that incredible pace and acceleration, his profile very valuable as left-sided wing back. Here's Van Hecker. The Dutch back three on the halfway line as Denzel Dumfries finds Ryan Gravenberg. Now Van Hecker. Dutch very comfortable with the ball at feet. Here's Van Dijk. Goes for the long diagonal, and the Van Dijk of old makes that eyes closed. Can't find his Liverpool teammate. Throw in for Morocco. I mean, Morocco now have proper tournament pedigree, man. 2022 World Cup semi-finalists. AFCON finalists in this edition of the African Cup of Nations. They know how to go deep in tournaments. And they'll... Oh, what a pass that is by El Khanous, man. Superb stuff. Here's Buadi. Buadi. It's Ismail Saibari. Again, he's on that left-hand side. He started all his attacks from the left. Here's Ismail Saibari. Oh, he tries to do too much there. Somerville helps out defensively, and that's another striker's challenge. Saibari is definitely going to pick up a yellow card, man. No? Ref giving a long enough rope here. There's Saibari's third or fourth foul. That one was clearly stopping a counter-attack, so I'm not really sure as to how Saibari pretty much evades a yellow card here. It's a challenge through the back. The referee's perfect view. It was just a coming together. Either way, Ismail Saibari gets away with that one. Here's Virgil van Dijk. For all the Dutch possession, the only chance did come from Somerville being offside. It's been Morocco with the two strikes that have drawn very good saves of Bart Verbruggen. There's Virgil van Dijk finding Jean-Paul van Hecker. Dutch need to be careful here. Make sure that the game doesn't just drift away. It's all about the patience, possession and structure, but kind of want to see them mix things up a little bit more. They've stopped playing those channel passes to Brian Brobby. Here's De Jong. Gravenberg. Finds Van Hecker. A lot of backwards and sideways passing here. Better there from Van Dijk. Gravenberg. Van Hecker. Gravenberg being slightly negative with his play. Second time going backwards. Van der Ven. He goes backwards. De Jong. He goes sideways. Van Hecker. Sideways. Dumfries. Backwards. Oh, come on. This is painful from the Dutch. Need to step it up here. Van Hecker with a decent looking pass. Morocco now on the counter charge chance. The offside flag was raised. The game started with a bit of spice, and since the hydration break, say the game has just suffered a little bit in terms of intensity and tempo. Morocco won't mind this one, but would absolutely love it to get that lead before half time. Could be game changing. Here's Brahim Diaz finding his skipper Ashraf Hakimi. That right hand side for Morocco needs to see a bit more action. When you've got Brahim Diaz and Hakimi, utilize them. There's El Khanous. He's looked good. Inventive looking pass, trying to find the run of Ismail Saibari. But that time actually Ismail Saibari was playing as a centre forward. We've seen him peel away to the left hand side for the majority of the attacks, and that's what Bilal and Khanous thought by playing that pass blind. Here's Aki. And the obvious change from the Dutch point of view is bringing on Tijani Reinders in midfield and sacrificing someone like Nathan Ake. Oh, Somerville is in business here. Crescencio Somerville, needed to just take that extra touch away from El Khanous. Bilal El Khanous looking very confident out there. Unai wins a crucial duel. So does Virgil van Dijk. Here's Denzel Dumfries. Cody Gakpo, that is extremely lackadaisical, man. He's waiting for the ball to come to him. Cannot expect that. The game started off with a bit of spice. Kind of just lost it now. Need to see some sort of ignition. The ref, to his credit, I mean, he's let everything go so far. So challenges can still fly in the second half. Wadi and El Yanui both getting a talking to by the ref here. Not sure as to why. Didn't clip the arm of Buadi. The challenge from Ashraf Hakimi was fine because Cody Gakpo was on his heels there. Wanted to be a bit more front foot. Virgil van Dijk. Gravenberg. Van der Ven. Okay, it's been the defenders who've had most touches, unfortunately, unfortunately, or is that part of the game plan for Ronald Koeman in the first half? Try and frustrate Morocco, who have absolutely no qualms just sitting back in here in their defensive shape. Van Hecke with the ball in. And you don't want to see your centre halves being the ones to deliver those ones. Oh, Buadi getting caught there. De Jong. Frankie de Jong, clever looking pass. Dumfries trying to go on the outside. Mazraoui defensively extremely reliable. Corner for the Dutch. It's as if the formation change hasn't benefited Netherlands at all. Who would have guessed? I was very surprised to see the 3-4-3. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting to see Tijani Reinders in that midfield, and the Dutch back four is strong enough. You don't need that extra defender, man. Just drop Van der Ven as a left back and get Tijani Reinders into your midfield and keep the front three going. There's a clear level of improvements there for Ronald Koeman. Could get better though. Somerville will take this corner. It's got a lot of loop to it. The head has taken a deflection. It's another corner. Well, Dinson Dumfries is an all-round right wing back. Jose Mourinho is absolutely going to adore him. He's his kind of right back / right wing back. Take two for Somerville. Again, nobody really touched tight to the two giants, Van der Ven and Van Dijk, pretty much unmarked. Somerville's delivery is very good, and Van Dijk ducks for some reason. He doesn't leap, just puts his head down for some reason. I was very curious. It's a very good ball there by Crescencio Somerville. It's on the money as well. It had the power, the whip. Oh, Van Hecke's bloodied here. He has gotten absolutely cracked. Wow. This is Terry Butcher all over again. Jean-Paul Van Hecke taking an absolutely nasty cut. Ruud van Nistelrooy and Ronald Koeman clearly stressed out here. You're wondering as to why Van Dijk did end up ducking, and that's a faucet, man. That's going to need stitches. That cannot just be patched up here. Let's have a look here. I think he gets the studs caught. Oh, it's a knee by El Yanui, I think. Oh, that's a UFC-like knee, man. That is a deep, deep gash. He has been in a war, I swear. That black eye, I'm not sure as to what happened there, but this cut is absolutely nasty. There's a knee right in dead center of the forehead. And yep, the staples are out. Man, sportsmen are just different breeds, aren't they, in terms of pain threshold. Just having to put a band-aid on it and carry on. That's pretty much it. I mean, the staple guns come out in the middle of the pitch, and Van Hecke is going to have to continue like nothing happened. He's taken a proper knee to the head. It's going to be expected to continue too. Can happen to a nicer guy. He's a twat to play against. I'm a big fan of him though, dude. What a player. Fits that Brighton mold perfectly. Manager's dream, really, which you can understand why De Zerbi decided to pretty much demand him as one of the centre halves. Well, Hecker, his blonde hair is now half red. No bandage, just staples and continue. These are just tough SOBs, man. Ronald Koeman will not want to be making a forced substitution. But he cannot afford his Van Hecker coming off because he does provide that balance as that right-sided centre-half. Left-sided centre-half, Ake or Mickey van der Ven can play there. On that right, they do need Van Hecker, so Ronald Koeman will be asking his right-sided centre-half to just power through. Another 5+ added on time. Try and do a bit of patchwork in the change room as Brahim Diaz on the turn. Scoop pass forward. Van Dijk quickly on his toes and gets there ahead of Ismail Saibari. Game's just lost that bit of quality that we need in the final third. Both teams really. It's been a bit of a physical battle. There have been challenges flying in. Both sets of players not in the respect business here. Wanting to compete. They have to compete really, really hard. Number 7 versus number 8 in the world. Very little to separate the two. Two very good group campaigns by both teams. Netherlands finishing top of Group F. Unbeaten, and Morocco unbeaten as well, as Azdin Onahi finds Mazraoui. Onahi has played everywhere but number 10 here today. Very surprising by the coach, whether or not that's an instruction or Azdin Onahi is just playing a free role, as the number 10 suggests. Morocco have gone way too physical. They need to play some ball. Yeah, they need to play some ball. I need to see a lot more out of Ayub Bouadi and Neil Elenoui. Just grab a hold of that game, especially when the Dutch just have the two in the pivot. As soon as they introduce Tijani Reinders in that midfield, Morocco are going to find it a lot more difficult to get those touches in the middle of the park. That's going to be 3v2. Shadi Riyad. Elzayanui. Heavyish touch there on the right hand side. I think the first half whistle is needed here. Both teams just need to reset. They've put in a lot in terms of effort, really trying to make their presence known. Just need to see a bit more quality in the final third. Morocco have stung the palms of Bart Verbruggen twice. Haven't seen Yassine Bono being tested so far. Here's Van Hecker. That's a very, very good pass to Somerville, but Somerville can't bring that under control. Combination of Chadi Riyad and Nusay Mazraoui is good enough. Denzel Dumfries gets there first. Critical challenge by Mazraoui. Nearly moments there for the Dutch. Saibari wins his header. And Gravenberg does well. Somerville gets the fortunate break. It's Mickey van der Ven. Oh, what a strike. Catches that so well. Came across perfectly to him. Didn't need to take a touch. He's got the technique. Yassine Bono was slightly worried. Wasn't in the corner, but always over the crossbar. I don't think it got a touch of Bono. It did. Good save. Very good save. Is the hallmark of this tournament that no one wants to press. I think they're taking this tournament as deep as possible. That quick forward, like everybody go out there and try and press early on. Don't think it's a needed tactic. Corner for the Dutch. Have they finally woken up right towards the end of the first half? Shadi Riyad trying to buy his team a free kick. Him and Brian Brobby have been absolutely at it. It's all about the delivery though. Needs to be spot on. It's very good. Seeing Brian Brobby with the foul. Pretty assertive from the ref. Does he have a case? Brian Brobby has done nothing wrong there. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. Can he not even jump as a forward? I mean, I understand goalkeepers get protection, right? But Brian Brobby, all he has done is hold his position. He's not battling the goalkeeper, and he's just leapt vertically. That's all he has done, and that's a foul. Incredible. Referee slightly out of his depth. Here's Somerville. 6 minutes of added on time signaled by the fourth official. Here's Jean-Paul Van Hecker. Still continuing after that deep gash on his forehead. Nathan Ake. Yeah, the Dutch can certainly do without an extra defender. They don't need it. I mean, it allows Dumfries to venture forward, but I think you want your front three to be a lot more involved than your right wing back if that's the case. There's Buadi asking a lot out of Ismail Saibari, but Van Dijk with another clearance. Cody Gakpo's first touch gets away from him. Gakpo's had a completely anonymous first half. Very disappointing. Seen a lot more from Brian Brobby, at least trying to put himself about, and Crescencio Somerville, a couple of driving runs. Cody Gakpo, unacceptable 45 minutes from him, to be honest. Here's Ayub Buadi. 5 minutes of added on time remaining here as Nusay Mazraoui finds Azzedine Unai. Mazraoui finds Chadi Riyad. Issa Diop. Back to Chadi Riyad. The Dutch retreat. Interesting strategy here, just allowing Morocco to play here. Just get a bit of confidence before the halftime whistle. If they can score here, it would be absolutely priceless. Here's El Yanoui. Finds his midfield partner in Buadi. Onto the right-hand side, Hakimi drives infield. Slightly heavy touch. Gakpo does well. Good 360 turn, but he gives the ball away. And now they're in real trouble. Saibari's first touch just gets away from him. The ball was really fizzed at him. Needed something with a bit more culture in terms of the through pass. It was the right idea. Execution-wise, nothing really wrong with that. It's unlucky. Oh yeah, Cody Gakpo did lose a parent, didn't he? Lost his dad or mum? I mean, mid-tournament is such a tough one to take. But top-end football, just brutal, man. You're just going to have to, as they say, suck it up and perform. And more on later. Ooh, Gravenberg gets caught. This is the second time the Dutch have really been stretched here. Van Hecker with an outstanding challenge. That's surely a foul on Saibari. Oh, the strike is just out of control there by Azzedine Unai. Again, they don't make the Dutch pay there. It's very loose. On a couple of occasions, Ryan Gravenberg tries to turn. He gets caught right at the center circle. That challenge by Jean-Paul Van Hecker is outstanding. Nathan Ake, what looked like a foul, but the referee doesn't wave play on either, so he doesn't consider that a foul. That was just a magnificent Van Hecker challenge, man. Nice strike. Did have a bit of zip on it. Brian Brobby wins his header. Better football this from Morocco. Just over 2 minutes of added on time remaining here at Monterrey. Brahim Diaz. Hakimi. El Kounouz finding himself on the right-hand side. Brahim Diaz as well. Just needed a bit more from the number 10. Is that a foul? Yeah, it should be. Needless there by Mickey van der Ven. Just gives Morocco an opportunity with the set piece late on. It's definitely not a yellow card worthy of challenge, but Mickey van der Ven, who had a decent strike that drew a good save of Yassine Bono. Yeah, that's very poor stuff there by van der Ven. No intentions of trying to track the run of the Moroccan skipper. Hakimi asking for a yellow card. If this was the Premier League, Hakimi would be booked for asking for a yellow. And Hakimi will take this free kick. He's the one who earned it. Decent enough position in terms of getting that whip on it. Issa Diop, Shadi Riyad. Two centre halves in prime position. Ismail Saibari is there as well. Hakimi's delivery is perfect. How did that not find its way into the back of the net? Ismail Saibari has to score. How does he not get the telling touch here? He looks embarrassed. What a ball. Oh, he has to score. It skims off his knee, but he has to get a better enough touch here. He gets away from Van der Ven. Van der Ven having an absolute mare there in terms of a defensive situation. He's the one who conceded the foul, and he's the one who allows Ismail Saibari a free run. He has to score. Ismail Saibari, who's got 3 goals in 3 group games, had to have made it 4 and 4. Huge let off there for the Dutch. Here's Brian Brobby, slips it through for Denzel Dumfries with a cutback. Good bit of defending. Well, we nearly got the perfect end to the first half. The Dutch somehow survived. They're conservative and I don't want to go as far as tepid, but fuck it, it's been a bit tepid from the Dutch. The back three has not worked whatsoever. It's been Morocco have been patient and have created the better chances, and they should have scored right at the end of the first half whistle. Ismail Saibari, after a devilish delivery by Ashraf Hakimi, couldn't guide that into the back of the net. It was a free chance as well. That was a huge let-off. And I think Morocco deserved that goal. And that goal, if Netherlands would have conceded, would have been a deserved goal to concede. They've been far too negative, and they should have been punished. You're going to try and sleep for 15 minutes? Good luck, Gotham. And I'll see you guys in 15 minutes myself. Grab a quick bite. Get some breakfast going. 7:30 a.m. in India. Hoping for a better second half. And I will be back. Well, we're a few minutes away from the start of the second half. Even Stevens in Monterrey. But it's been Morocco have had the better opportunities, and some would argue they should be 1-0 up at half time. That Ismail Saibari chance was absolutely critical, wasn't it? Neil El Nawi and Ayub Bouadi need to do a little bit more from Morocco's point of view. They have been a bit more on the back foot, inviting the Dutch forward, but the Dutch, in terms of the back three, I think it's been far too negative. Got the back three, they've got Frankie de Jong, they've got four players pretty much trying to get involved with the build-up. From the back, that is, Gravenberg trying to be the advanced midfielder. He's had a couple of decent turns. The front three have not linked up well enough. Denzel Dumfries, as the right wing back, has asked a few questions. I think the back four will work for them. Nathan Ake comes off. You can play Van Hecke and Van Dijk as your two centre halves. Van der Ven as left back and Denzel Dumfries as your right back. Keep the midfield pivot, or you can add an extra midfielder if you want. Tijani Reinders can easily come in and make it a midfield three, dominate that area and give that front three a little bit more service, because Brian Brobby, Crescencio Somerville and Cody Gakpo have been feeding off scraps. Shadi Riyad and Issa Diop have kept a very watchful eye on the Dutch attack. Well, the players are out for the start of the second half, and it looks like no change from Ronald Koeman's men. Not really surprised though. I feel that the Dutch coaches are a little bit more reactive rather than trying to be proactive to win games, emphasizing control, discipline and possession. Oh, some electric play here. Hope to see a better second half from both sides, especially from the Dutch. Morocco have done their bit in terms of being solid defensively and creating chances. Hakimi drew off a very good save. Saibari should have made it 1-0 right towards the end of the first half. Cody Gakpo going through some personal tragedy, having to put that on the back burner for the important 45 minutes for the second half. Sofian Amrabat having a word with Moussa Mazraoui. El Ainoui, him alongside Bouadi, need to really step up for the start of the second half. It's going to be a critical 45 minutes. It's been all about the late show in the round of 32 in the World Cup. Canada, courtesy of Stefan Eustáquio, scoring in the 92nd minute. Gabriel Martinelli scoring late on to break Japan hearts. And of course, Paraguay dragging Germany all the way to the depths of a penalty shootout. And coming up trumps in a massive upset. Morocco, number 7. Netherlands, number 8 in the world. Very little to separate the two sides. Wow, just look at that backdrop, man. The sun has well and truly set in Monterrey. That is a special backdrop that we are seeing in Estadio Monterrey. Really is a privilege for these players to play in such exotic venues, and we should be in for a cracking 45 minutes here. The air of caution should be taken off, and we're off and running. Well, both teams will look to just step it up in terms of tempo and intensity. Get that forward play going, get their strikers involved a little bit more. Netherlands still persisting with the back three and the two wing backs. This should give Morocco a bit more confidence, really, to grab a hold of midfield. They'll be happy to see Tijani Reinders still on the bench. 2v2, they can very much match the Dutch, but they get that man advantage in midfield. They can try and get those overloads going, but Ronald Koeman clearly happy with what he saw. There's Frankie de Jong. The referee did allow a few challenges to go by. Jean-Paul Van Hecke getting absolutely cracked on the forehead. Was an stray knee from the corner. Again, no bandage, just staples. Now Nathan Ake tries the channel clip pass, well defended. So Diop is an absolute monster in the air as Brian Brobby. That's a foul by Diop. Clumsy challenge. And that's the first yellow card of the game. The referee has showcased immense amount of patience. Has finally lost it. First challenge of the second half, and it's a really clumsy one by Issa Diop. Definitely worthy of a yellow card. Raking his boot. The side of the shin there on Brian Brobby. That is a really sore one. Issa Diop can have no complaints. Yellow card for the centre half, and it's a free kick for the Dutch. Moroccan fans making a ruckus here in Monterrey. Dutch fans a little bit more polite to try and outdo the Moroccans in terms of fan support, as Somerville is lining up this free kick. Again, he's going to possibly target that back stick where Jean-Paul Van Hecke is going to make that run. Poor delivery, but Van Hecke does get his header. They keep it alive there, and Mickey van der Ven generates a lot of power with that header, but it's straight at Yassine Bonu. Shadi Riyad. Azadine Onahi. Need to see a bit more from the number 10 with the number 8 on his back. He's been so far away from Ismail Saibari. Need to see that connection going. Brahim Diaz is now playing almost as a number 10 here. There's Mazraoui. Onahi. Bilal El Kounnous, what a clever pass. Onahi continues his run. He's up against Van Dijk. Clever pass. Diaz lets it go. Chance here. Ayoub Bouadi with the strike. That was a chance. Half chance there for Morocco. They play some excellent football. Mamadou Abi would be very pleased with that stuff. That's such a clever pass onto the left-hand side. Diaz with the dummy. Lays it off nicely for Ayoub Bouadi. Just trying to curl that into the top corner. Youngster misses his mark by some distance. Oh, that's a nasty landing there. Mazraoui back onto his feet like nothing happened. Oof. There's Hakimi. Finds Bouadi. They've been a bit more conservative rather than just trying to be very progressive with their passing. It's Bouadi. Onahi, Bouadi again. Good possession this for Morocco. Shadi Riyad. Mazraoui, Riyad again. An exercise in patience. The Dutch defending side to side. The back three becomes a back five quite seamlessly without the ball. Here's Bouadi. Issa Diop used to play the rest of the game on a tightrope. Onahi. Hakimi. Onahi again. Enawi. This is good possession this. Morocco just knocking it about, frustrating the Dutch. Again, it's just harmless possession. Shadi Riyad trying to start off this attack. Nearly plays that into the channel. Hand of apology there from the centre half. There's Neil El-Yanoui. Lovely touch there by Brahim Diaz. And now Ashraf Hakimi on the right-hand side. Hakimi. Ainoui. Onahi. Chance. So he's fired it at Brahim Diaz. Drops the shoulder. Brahim Diaz nearly doing the impossible there. There's absolutely no room whatsoever. He nearly manufactures enough to get a shot away. Here's Onahi. Bilal El Kounnous. Hakimi. El Kounnous again. Azadine Onahi now. Looks for the cross. Dutch defending in a bit of a passive manner. Just dropping that back five and asking Morocco to try and break them down. Mazraoui. Ismail Saibari. Oh, heavy touch there by the centre forward, who's seen a lot of action on that left-hand side. Hakimi now in a central position, inverting from right back. It's El Kounnous holding the width on the right. Here's Brahim Diaz. We saw this in the first half where Morocco just overloading that right-hand side, trying to create that bit of space on that left-hand side for Ismail Saibari. This is a very good period for Morocco where they're not allowing the Dutch to have a touch of the ball. A clever clip pass here is a through on goal here. Hakimi! Great effort! Crossbar comes to the Dutch rescue. Oh, this is just beautiful football. It's patience personified, and Morocco nearly get the reward for it. What a through pass this is. I think Hakimi would have been slightly offside, but the way that he strikes that, whew. And it's a tight angle. Could he have played that across the face for Ismail Saibari? I'm not really sure Van Dijk had made that run across. I think the offside flag would have saved the Dutch there. Van Dijk just about holding his line, but that was brilliant bit of play there from Morocco. They kept it. They were very patient with possession. And Sunday they just turn it on a dime there. Brilliant stuff. The Moroccans have outshot the Dutch. Yeah, I think he's got it very wrong here, Ronald Koeman. And the fact that he decided to just let it continue here is a bit concerning. Somerville does well. Cody Gakpo shrugs off the challenge. And he leaves it short. Hakimi steps in. Oh, Somerville does really well. Oh, might be a foul. Hakimi, no? Referee waves play on. That is certainly a foul by Mickey van der Ven on Ayub Bouadi. Referee giving the rub of the green to the Moroccans. Somerville doing really well. How's this for a challenge from Hakimi? I mean, he's gone through the back of Somerville. I think that's a foul, man. Somerville has a case. Yep, that's a foul by Hakimi. Very lucky there, the Moroccan skipper. The Dutch need to change things around here. They've been far too passive. The second half has been even worse. That extra midfielder could not come on sooner. Tijani Reinders. If I'm Ronald Koeman, I would have started him, but he cannot be waiting any longer here. It's Morocco now enjoying all the possession. And the Dutch were doing nothing really with the ball. Now without it, having to just defend. Here's Hakimi. Moroccans now full of confidence. They've pretty much taken the best shot that the Dutch have had to throw at them, which has not really been too much. Yassine Bonu has not had a save of note to make. And compare that to Bart Verbruggen. He's seen his crossbar rattle and his palm stung. Diaz with the carry. Onahi finds Diaz again. Scan the right-hand side for Morocco. Brian Brobby, outstanding hold-up play. Somerville gets around the challenge and he pokes it forward, and now Cody Gakpo can have a run on the left-hand side. Gakpo cuts inside. Gakpo, oh my goodness me. I mean, what are you even appealing for? That was horrific wing play, man. We know that Cody Gakpo loves cutting inside. You're seeing what he's trying to do there, just trying to fade that towards the far stick, but in terms of execution, leaving a lot to be desired. Morocco are playing this game at a walking pace, mind you. That should not be happening if you're the Dutch. And again, they let it forward here. Hakimi's through on goal. Ashraf Hakimi, what a challenge by Mickey van der Ven. Using every bit of his recovery pace. And he bails the Dutch out there. What a pass over the top again. Hakimi bearing down. Oh my goodness me. That is as good as it gets. And now Brian Brobby is peeled onside. Offside flag has been raised. What a tackle, man. Oh my goodness. Mickey van der Ven, take a bow. His recovery pace is a cheat code. But to have such a clean challenge just showcases outstanding levels of being switched on defensively. The Dutch are going to get punished here. It's the second time Hakimi has broken the lines and ran through. And it seems that no lessons are being learned here. This is a risky game that Ronald Koeman's playing here with his side. He's got Noah Long on the bench. Maybe even Memphis Depay The all-time goal scorer, top scorer for the Dutch, can come on, but the forward line has not worked. But I think it's been just the passive nature of the defense and midfield. Good turn there by Brahim Diaz. He's away from the challenge of Nathan Ake, but Nathan Ake does well. Gravenberch cannot control the football by the looks of it. The Dutch midfield is dying out there. Just no control of the football. Louis van Gaal must be having heart palpitations watching this one. He's all about the Dutch in control as Bouadi being put under pressure. Finds Issa Diop. Second half, all Morocco. Hakimi is the key piece and he gets the give and go. Hakimi with the touch. Hakimi is so quick, but Mickey van der Ven is lightning quick. Fortunately for the Dutch, they've got Van der Ven, who's been able to cover Hakimi. Here's Azzedine Nahi, goes for the switch of play. Finds Bilal El Khanous. Being double teamed here, El Khanous, but manufactures a room and puts in a decent ball in. Aki does really well. Frankie de Jong gives the ball away under pressure. Morocco turning it on. Bilal El Khanous trying to just curl that with a bit of whip. Well, the approach has to change here, Gautam. The back three and the two in the pivot, it just does not work. Or it might work, but not for this game and not against this opposition. You don't want to just throw on another attacker just for the sake of it because the forward line's getting no service. You want somebody else probably in that half space. It's Crescencio Somerville who's trying to operate in those spaces. He finds Cody Gakpo on the left-hand side. Here's Gakpo. Cuts inside again. Floats it towards the far stick. Comfortable for Mazraoui. It's Gravenberch with the effort. Well blocked. El Khanous trying to start off the counter-attack, but the Dutch win the ball back in dangerous territory. I think Reinders changes the game here, Gautam, because just a bit of forward thrust in midfield is needed. Frankie de Jong is, as a number 6, he's doing the safe passes. He's keeping things moving, asking way too much out of Ryan Gravenberch in that number 8 position. Don't need that extra defender. Especially not with Mickey van der Ven's recovery pace, man. If you're going to flog him, might as well flog him on that left-hand side. Somerville, low center of gravity hoops. Again, you want Somerville to be... Again, they're playing with the back 3 and the 2 number 10s. So, while the system works for Somerville, it does not work for Cody Gakpo. As Gakpo is providing the width on that left-hand side. Van der Ven has not made a single run forward. That's why I said they have to go to a back 4 here. I think Van der Ven as a left back might have a little bit more incentive to go forward. De Jong not strong enough, shoulder to shoulder, gets eased off the ball. Hakimi is just dictating the game from right back, man. Just demanding the ball. Look at Morocco, just walking. Almost playing standstill football in the Dutch half. Here's Neil El-Yanoui. Onahi. Ashraf Hakimi. The Dutch are not even getting close here. Ayub Bouadi. Nobody really picking up the youngster. Morocco full of confidence. This is not a good sign for the Dutch. This is what the Dutch do to the oppositions and it's been done to them. That's a brilliant turn there by Ismail Saibari on the left-hand side. Here's Ismail Saibari, goes for the cutback opportunity and it's a good bit of Dutch defending. Corner for Morocco. Ismail Saibari on that left-hand side has created a few opportunities. This was a sweeping turn. Lovely bit of skill to get away from Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Van Hecke completely sold himself. Slightly delayed the cutback, but did everything in his power to try and find his teammate. Corner for Morocco. Hakimi on corner duty, trying to catch him at the near post. Oh, Frankie de Jong of all people nearly directs it into his own goal. Very risky header there by Frankie de Jong. Morocco looking to take it short. This should have been allowed. Not sure as to why the referee did not allow them to take it quickly. Take 2 for Ashraf Hakimi. Dangerous situation here. Again, he fires it at the near post. Same tactic, same result. 3 corners in a row. No serious manager can watch their team get bossed like this coming out for a second half and not make a change. Koeman keeps finding ways to get worse. Again, I was not a fan of his first half approach, but seeing the exact team roll out for the second half was concerning. No change in the structure, no change in the personnel. What the hell is Hakimi doing with these corners, man? He's just trying to win more and more of them. Trying to just rack up the corner count. He's not got elevation once in the last 3 corners that he's taken. They're possibly going to take it short. Nope. He's waved El Khanous away, and Hakimi again trying that near post corner. This time with a bit more elevation, and Hakimi's corners have just gotten worse and worse. Goal kick for the Dutch. Well, under half an hour of normal time remaining in Monterrey. But that Frankie de Jong header could have very easily been directed into his own net, man. It was such a bad header because you're not helping with that header, mind you. It looks like you are trying to get yourself in it, but it is a very low IQ defensive header. But the Dutch need to change something. Morocco, carry on as you are because this is working for them. The Dutch in the second half it's a complete no-show. It's almost like they're rebelling against Ronald Koeman and what they're seeing here. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy is probably tearing his head off. He wouldn't get zero bit of service. Somerville, brilliant. Oh, the challenge by Mazraoui. He is very, very fortunate there, Mazraoui, because he was the last man. Somerville is rapid. If that stays perfect, that challenge from Mazraoui, critical. Wow. Has the referee got the spot on? Let's have a look here. Somerville is so quick. Mazraoui, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And he gets his head on it too. Supreme bit of defending there by the experienced campaigner. Somerville is so quick between the lines. And in those pockets, he can just turn it on with his dribbling and acceleration. I think the Dutch would have loved to have Xavi Simons as a number 10 option, but unfortunately, he did his ACL right towards the end of the season. Bart Verbruggen taking a few liberties there. Pass onto the right-hand side. Brilliant turn there by Ryan Gravenberg. Foul there by Elinoui. But Morocco need to capitalize here. They're very much on top. The camera pans to Tijani Reinders, who's still in his training bib. He's not warming up. Why is Wout Weghorst warming up ahead of Tijani Reinders? A centre forward is not going to just solve this for the Dutch. They're not getting hold of the ball here. They want a forward player to come on and make a change. Daniel Marlin would be a better option from Ronald Koeman, but I don't trust Koeman to make the right calls here. 25 minutes to go of normal time. 0-0 the scoreline. We've seen 2 late winners and 1 game go into extra time and then into pens. It's been a round of 32 of attrition, of concentration till the very last minute. Shadi Riyad finds Ayub Bouadi. As then Unai. The forward players have been very fluid. Unai has not been in the number 10 position. Saibari has been playing on the left-hand side for most of the game. Very interesting tactics here by Mohamed Ouabi. As I'm standing on my feet and applauding this defensive effort, that was a critical challenge, man. And he was last man too. He could not get that wrong because Not only that's a foul, if he gets it wrong, that was a straight red card. I want a refund on my sleep. I would have loved to be in bed, cooked out, and completely slept. It's nearly 8 a.m. and the Dutch are putting me to sleep. Really poor. Ronald Koeman, never of my highest of estimations, but it's just gone down a couple of notches here. He's pissed his pants, man. There's no other way to describe this one because he's frightened of the Moroccans. This approach is not needed. And now if he makes the change, right, with his team struggling to get hold of the ball, say he takes off a defender, it'd probably not be the right move because the Dutch are having to do a lot more defending. So it could easily cost him, and it's been a nightmare, really. The hydration break couldn't have come at a better time because 20 minutes of the second half, the Dutch have been a complete no-show. But the first 20 minutes of the match, the Dutch looked good on the ball. They looked controlled. But since the hydration break, Morocco took over. They had a couple of efforts that stung the palms of Bart Verbruggen. But in the second half, this from the Dutch is unacceptable, man. Can't wait for the next cycle of Frank de Boer ball for the Dutch. Intellectually bankrupt Football Association. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the de Boers take over. Again, man, Erik ten Hag is the brightest mind to come out of Dutch football in terms of managerial talent. Got to do a bit of introspection, really. Where are the new young coaches with the fresh ideas? We know that the Dutch love the diamond under Cruyff, but now the back three with Louis van Gaal and Ronald Koeman taking Dutch football backwards. But if the Dutch don't make a change in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, surely he has to make a change, right? I mean, this can't carry on. Even if it's not tactics, it's got to be fresh legs at least, because this honestly cannot carry on from a Dutch point of view. They have been so pedestrian. They've not even bothered to play football. They are not closing down the Moroccans. Morocco are pretty much playing walk and stop football in the Dutch half. How is that acceptable? As midfielders, as your defenders, you would be fuming that Morocco are stud rolling in the middle of the park. Ayub Bouadi, nobody closing him down. And Ashraf Hakimi on a couple of occasions has broken through on that right-hand side. The crossbar came to their aid once. Mickey van der Ven's outrageous goal line, last-ditch challenge bailed them out on the second occasion. The Dutch need a change. Something's got to give. Morocco have players on the bench too. Wow. Estadio BBVA here at Monterrey lit up, looking pristine. It looks like Koop Miners is the substitute coming on. It's not Tijani Reinders, but the change finally being made. Wout Weghorst and Koop Miners both coming on. Koop Miners, good change. Wout Weghorst, 2026. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? Nathan Ake is one of the sacrificial lambs. The Dutch are going with the back four now. And Brian Brobby is off. I'm not sure about these changes. I mean, Nathan Ake coming off, sure, but Brian Brobby has been short-changed here. And Wout Weghorst has come on. Of course, scored a brace in Qatar against Argentina. They were 2-0 down. Wout Weghorst scored both goals late on. But the Dutch, I mean, this is going against everything in terms of their principles. They've just sat back, and now they've got a centre forward who's not mobile too. So, what's the plan here? Really, what is the plan? I mean, the Dutch might end up winning this one, and we'll say masterstroke, and Somerville might get here ahead of Mazraoui. Oh, this is a foul. Surely it falls kindly, and it is 1-0 to the Dutch. Cody Gakpo opens the scoring. It is a massive, massive moment for a man who has gone through some incredible personal tragedy. He puts it all to the side, and he gives his side the all-important lead. This is what football is all about. It is emotional stuff for Cody Gakpo, and look at the way the Dutch just huddle around him. It is a special, special, special moment for Cody Gakpo. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and the change works immediately. We've been crying out for the changes. The Dutch play some Route 1 stuff, and it works in their favor. Cody Gakpo's had a really tricky game here. Struggled on that left-hand side, but he made his presence count when it mattered the most. Highly emotional goal that. Wout Weghorst, what a header. I am so sorry that I gave you shit, man. The way it falls to Gakpo is very good. But Wout Weghorst winning the header, and Crescencio Somerville running here. He finds the pass even though he's on the deck. And Gakpo does the rest. The front three combine in lethal fashion. And the Dutch, who have been terrible in the second half, lead with 20 minutes remaining. Well, Ronald Koeman looking straight up like a genius here. Wout Weghorst in 2026. I was not familiar with your game. Well, finally we have a goal. And it's not for Morocco. That was a sucker punch. Cody Gakpo needs to emotionally level out. He was in tears, and you can understand why. Still remember that Frank Lampard penalty against Liverpool in 2007? After he lost his mom midweek, the game against Manchester United where Michael Ballack scored a brace at the bridge. And then Frank Lampard coming back midweek and scoring that all-important pen and having a similar reaction. And as usual, it's eat or be eaten, and I'm slightly disappointed that Morocco get punished playing walking football, man. I mean, it's a sign of comfort and dominance, but it's almost like the footballing gods will punish you if you start doing some stuff that doesn't show intensity on the pitch. And if you thought the Dutch were negative before, well, if there's ever a time to bring on the back five, this would be it. Frankie de Jong with a hack of a challenge. Can have no complaints again. He's wrong side. Needs to get away, otherwise he's picking up a yellow card. Well, Morocco's second half game plan did look like it was working, but now the Dutch goal changes everything. Well, Shadi Riyad's coming off. Interesting move this. Looks like a centre half for centre half. Salah Eddin in his place. Koeman cannot be rewarded for this. Well, he's going to be rewarded by the looks of it. They're 15 minutes plus stoppage time away from booking their spot in the round of 16 against the Canadians. And they'll really fancy their chances there too. Quarterfinals, very much a possibility for the Dutch. It's the defense, man. It's the defense. They're very strong. Yes, they've not kept a clean sheet in the tournament so far, but this would be the right time to get your first clean sheet against a very tricky opposition. Been slightly disappointed with the midfield pivot of Morocco. Bouadi has been slightly pedestrian. He's almost following the Frankie de Jong model. When it works for your team and your team are in front, You look like a genius, but if it goes against you, Ashraf Hakimi trying to bait the ref here. Yep, he saw the extra tumbles, the extra turns. It is a free kick, but Hakimi was trying to get the opposition booked there. Okay, Brahim Diaz, the country needs you. Time to step up. Oh, Unai with the nutmeg on Van der Ven. Now he tries to get it back. Ooh, clever touch. Again, Morocco trying to throw themselves. Bouadi wins a critical duel and then hangs it into a decent area. Good defending by Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Well, the Dutch are going to drop the nastiest of low blocks now. But now the game demands it. Corner for Morocco. Decent enough corner. Flicked on. It's cleared away. Onto the left-hand side. Salah Dean with the strike. Well blocked. Morocco need to step it up here. The tempo has to be quickened. Have to play some quick, sharp stuff. There's El Khanous with a cross into the box for Ismail Saibari. Outstanding defending. Denzel Dumfries. Excellent. That's the second time that I'm seeing him track the runner in this match perfectly. Well, Weghorst, World Cup cult hero. Spot on. Talk about an immediate impact. Football sometimes very simple. Lump it up to the big man, Big Sam, with a tear rolling down his cheek. The Dutch are just slowing the pace of the game here. They have every right to do so. Ronald Koeman, as it stands, a tactical masterclass. Well, that's what 1-0 victories give you as a coach. But Unai is coming off, and so is Brahim Diaz. It's certainly an interesting call here by the gaffer. Brahim Diaz, poor performance. Really poor. Bouadi's off as well. Yep, Bouadi and Diaz off. El Murabe and Vassin coming on. He took off Diaz. Diaz didn't warrant a place, man. I don't think Diaz did anywhere enough in terms of levels in this match. He had Hakimi on the overlap all match long, but I think he was far too passive. Here's Wout Weghorst. He's making the ball stick now. Ooh, clash of heads. That's nasty. Ref, surely. Got to kick the ball out of play there. He was letting play continue, and that's why Morocco were pretty much steaming there, and he kicks the ball to the ad boards. Head injury, though. You got to stop play. This was the Cody Gakpo goal. And he runs completely unchallenged in the central areas. Somerville's pass is so good, man, because he's losing balance. He's on the floor. And that goal, emotional stuff. Dutch jubilation amongst personal tragedy. Well, sport has a way of snatching your heart and also rewarding you. And in terms of a reward for Cody Gakpo for going through incredible personal tragedy, for him to recover mentally and, as it stands, give his side place in the quarterfinals would be sensational. It looks like Ryan Gravenberg's race has run here. Is he going to be coming off? I would be very surprised. Gravenberch is one of their key players. They'll want to keep him on the pitch. Yep, he's back on. It's El Murabe. He's playing quite deep here. Hakimi finds it onto the right-hand side to Wassine. Here's Mazraoui. Under 10 minutes remaining. Morocco need to find a way to try and trouble Badverbergen in goal. What's a clever slip-through pass, but slightly overhit on that occasion. Wassine making the right run. Again, Wout Weghorst winning yet another header. Almost finding Crescencio Somerville there. Lovely nutmeg. And now, Morocco trying to make things work here. Achraf Hakimi on the right-hand side. Bursting forward, finding Yassine. Yassine with a good enough turn. Finding his substitute partner, El Morabe. Good defending by Cook Miners. Gravenberch turns away, and that's a brilliant pass by Ryan Gravenberch, finding the goal scorer Cody Gakpo. He's got options, but Morocco have enough players back. There's a poor pass. I can't see the Moroccans coming back from this. They'll have to try and feed the big man, Ismail Saibari. That chance right towards the end of the first half. We felt that was going to be costly, and has turned out to be far too costly. The Dutch now with a deep block. Back four. Surprising, like they were mid-block with the back five, and now with the back four, they've pretty much chucked everybody behind the ball. Here's Hakimi. Finds Yassine. There's just no space. It's got to be deep runs from midfield, and that's exactly what we've seen. Bilal El-Khanous making that run. There's just no space whatsoever to play through the central areas. It's got to be wide and into the box. Fergie's stuff needed. Crosses into the box. But again, it's going to be food and drink really for the Dutch. For Van Dijk and Van Hecker. Somerville has been a constant nuisance, man. He's had an excellent performance. He's the one who got the all-important assist after latching onto that Wout Weghorst flick on. The Dutch making their third substitution, and it's Quincy Timbers coming on. The brother of Jurien Timber. I think applies a trade for Marseille, if I'm not mistaken. Here's Nahi. He's dropped in as one of the pivot players. Hakimi finds Nusayr Mazraoui now. Morocco's hopes of staying in the competition hanging on by a thread. Here's Somerville. He's been the shining light for the Dutch, and Dumfries continues his run on the right-hand side. What a powerful run this is by Denzel Dumfries. Denzel Dumfries with a cutback. He went for the target. That was Wout Weghorst. He could have played it across the face of goal. That was an outstanding run, and that could have very easily been 2-0 to the Dutch. And game over. Oh my word, what a first touch that is by Ismail Saibari. Is Ismail Saibari, Virgil van Dijk with a critical interception. That is a captain's interception. Ismail Saibari with the most ridiculous of first touches here. But he can't get through the wall that is Virgil van Dijk. You can see how the way that his teammates, his soldiers, celebrated that tackle like he scored the goal himself. Here's the double substitution for the Dutch. They're going ultra defensive by the looks of it. Quincy Timber and Jarell Hato both coming on by the looks of it. Rahimi is coming on for Morocco. El-Khanous is off. Double substitution by both managers with 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Mickey van der Ven is off. Unai is off too. Looks like Rahimi is one of the players that are coming on for Morocco. Jarell Hato. First appearance for the Chelsea man. El Khanous on as well. Talbi is on for Morocco. Sunderland winger. Yep, Gravenberch and Van der Ven off. Quincy Timber and Jarell Hato on. The back five now back in play. Van Hecke. Quincy Timber. Timber's style is exactly like his brother's, man. Jurrien Timber and Quincy Timber. That dribbling style is so uncanny. Morocco looking to get a move on here. Need to be swift. Van Hecke wins yet another header. Brilliant from Van Hecke, man. Frankie de Jong, Cody Gakpo, Wout Weghorst. What about this from Weghorst? It's brilliant from Wout Weghorst. Finally stopped. Wout Weghorst rolling back the ears. Dutch fighting for every ball. Here's Jarell Hato. Here's the goal scorer now. Cody Gakpo with the strike. Well blocked by Issa Diop. The Dutch looking to add the seal to the match. I would love the second. Nai and El Khanous both coming off. Rahimi and Talbi for Morocco trying to drag their team back. Else it's going to be the Dutch who are going to face the Canadians in the round of 16 clash. Koopmeiners will take this corner. Trying to use that left foot. He's got his targets. He's got an extra aerial presence in Wout Weghorst. Koopmeiners' delivery. Oh, good ball that. Issa Diop with a critical header. Jarell Hato just puts it back into the area, but happy to just concede the goal kick. 3 minutes per stoppage time remaining here. Time running out for Morocco. 2 minutes per stoppage time, rather. Good drop of the shoulder there from Yassin. Now on the right-hand side, Rahimi. There's a Morocco player on the deck, but they have to try and carry on with this attack. Hitting this ball out of play would be a waste of time. Don't do it. Hakimi, play on. He doesn't. Saibari is on the deck. Bit more time being eaten up here. This is not good for Morocco. He's got a case there. How's that not a foul on Ismail Saibari, man? Quincy Timber again, no intentions of playing the ball. That is some rough stuff there by Quincy Timber. Would have had a look from the bench as to what some of the Moroccan players were doing to the starters, as a bit of a shake of the head there from the Moroccan support. Seeing their side just fizzle out here. Played a much better second half, but have they troubled Bart Verbruggen enough in goal? Probably not, but if you ask Yassin Bono, he'll say that he hasn't troubled whatsoever. The only action that he's had to do between the sticks is pick the ball from the back of the net. It's been a game of fine margins. On to the right-hand side. Here's Ashraf Hakimi. Mamadou Habi's men. It looks like their journey might end in the round of 32. Semi-finalists in Qatar captivated everybody's eyes. But they're up against a Dutch side that have got tools. Yes, their manager, it feels like it might be holding them back. But he is an experienced campaigner. And the Dutch have 6 minutes of stoppage time to try and do this. It's a brilliant header. And it's Issa Diop with the equalizer. It's the centre half that steps up when all hope was lost for Morocco. The big man with a terrific header gives Morocco the equalizer. Well, the back five of the Dutch has been punished. They kept retreating and one ball into the box. And it's a brilliant header by Issa Diop. Bart Verbruggen powerless to stop it. And it looks like this game is going to extra time. Massive goal there from Diop. It was a brilliant ball in. But the Dutch, far too passive. Just retreated back into their own box. Nobody picks up the big man. This is a brilliant cross, mind you. He's totally unchallenged. Van Dijk does not jump. He's caught under the ball. Brilliant delivery by Talbi. And Diop's header does the rest. Morocco back in it. And some would say, justice. Well, the Moroccan fans were probably planning their return trip in just sadness. They've got a bit of hope now. Van Dijk has to do better. All he has to do is jump, man. If he jumps, Diop doesn't get there. He just gets caught. And they pay the price. Well, just what we need. Another 30 minutes of this. Well, the World Cup games are delivering in terms of a spectacle, man. It's just last-minute drama, time and time again. This is the third game out of 4 that we are seeing a goal in the 92nd minute. It's crazy. Eustáquio, Gabriel Martinelli, and now Issa Diop. Incredible. Is there further drama in this match? Morocco trying to win this game in normal time. Here's Somerville. Quincy Timber. Decent enough carry. That might be a foul there. I know you with the foul. So psyched about the extra time hydration break. More than you believe. I'm not sure. I mean, the Germany-Panama game, Paraguay game went into extra time. That was a good time to spot whether or not a hydration break was called halfway through the first half of extra time. Mamadou Abi, he's caught live, and the Moroccan fans, it's their time now to start bouncing up and down, and the Dutch fans turn to look in horror. Koopmeiners with the free kick here for the Dutch. Van Dijk will be looking to try and make amends. Wout Weghorst looking to be the World Cup hero again. Ball flung in for Van Dijk. Poor header there by Virgil van Dijk. Can't get the direction on it. Goal kick for Morocco. Morocco will not lay down here. They have no reason to. Unbeaten in the tournament so far. 1-1 draw against Brazil. 1-0 victory against Scotland. Beating Haiti 4-2. And now taking Dutch to the depths. It would have been incredible scenes for Morocco, man. You can feel it as fans, feeling that, oh, the World Cup dream is over. Pack your bags, we're going back home tomorrow. And to see Diop score that one would have been relief and jubilation all rolled into one. Dumfries on the right-hand side, trying to make something happen there. That's a foul by Denzel Dumfries. Trying to go around the marker on that occasion. 90 seconds remain. We'll be going into extra time. Or we might see another late show. Mamadou Habi's men. The changes certainly worked. It's not the centre forward, but getting Talbi on the pitch to put in that all-telling cross into the box for Issa Diop. Proper header that. Van Hecker wins his header. So does Van Dijk. Decent first touch to try and get away from him. Sabari battling on that left-hand side. Does manage to get the ball into the box. De Jong shows decent amount of composure and Quincy Timber just clears. Brilliant flick on header by Wout Weghorst. And now it's 3v4 here for the Dutch. It's Crescencio Somerville. What a challenge by Mazraoui again. Oh, he saved Morocco. The Dutch nearly win it at the end. What a challenge by Nusay Mazraoui. That is as clutch as it gets. My goodness me, Gautam. What a challenge, and not his first time. He has kept his country in it. Here's Yassin. Another challenge, another play breaks down in midfield. He's gone lunging into Frankie de Jong there, Saibari. Well, surprisingly, Morocco cannot deal with Wout Weghorst here. He's causing all sorts of problems. That flick-on header for Somerville was exactly how the first goal happened. Somerville got there, was ready to pull the trigger, and the challenge out of absolutely nowhere by Nusay Mazraoui. And the game will now head into extra time. Unless Wout Weghorst decides to do something even crazier here. Throw in for the Dutch. Last attack of the match, surely now. Well, we're going into extra time by the looks of it. Well, the Dutch throwing everybody forward for what was certainly their last attack. Got Van Dijk in the box. They got fans who are looking really stressed. Denzel Dumfries was a throw in into the box. They win the first header. And Morocco have a chance on the counter-attack, and the referee blows the full-time whistle in Monterrey. And it looked like Morocco were heading towards the exit after Cody Gakpo gave Netherlands the lead. Issa Diop in stoppage time pulls out an important equalizer, and we've got 30 more minutes in Monterrey to decide which one of these two sides will meet Canada in the round of 16, or are we going into pens again? We've already seen Paraguay beat Germany with pens. Are we going to see another team being dispatched courtesy of the shootout? Extra time coming up very shortly. Well, that second half certainly did keep us on the edge of our seats. A very interesting game. Issa Diop, as it stands, a national hero. Moroccan players being cooled down. Cody Gakpo thought that his goal would have been enough to secure a place in the round of 16 for his side. But Issa Diop having a final say. Cody Gakpo would love to get his names in the headlines again. As Mamadou Abi goes through his patterns, and the changes worked, man. He took off Brahim Diaz, he took off Bouadi, and it worked. He brought on Talbi on that left-hand side. He put in a perfect delivery for Issa Diop. Ismail Saibari for Morocco scored in the previous 3 group games. If there's ever a time for Saibari to step up here, this would be it. A massive half an hour coming up here in Monterrey. It's either going to be decided in extra time or we're going to pens. The round of 32, in terms of a spectacle, in terms of competitiveness, and in terms of keeping us glued to our TVs and on the edge of our seats, it has delivered and then some. Ruud van Nistelrooy having a word with their most potent attacker, Crescencio Somerville, who's tried to make things happen with those runs on the right-hand side. It's going to be very interesting to see how this game turns up, and the Dutch approach of trying to drag this game, pretty much try and close it out, backfiring. Well, if Virgil van Dijk jumps, he probably just clears the ball comfortably, and the Dutch booked their spot in the round of 16. He got caught. Issa Diop read that perfectly. And now we're going to have another half an hour of intense action. This is going to pens. I truly believe this is going to pens. Cody Gakpo, you're the hero once. Gonna have to do it again. The Moroccan players needing a bit of patchwork done for the excruciating amount of effort they've put on the pitch. Virgil van Dijk. Face to face with Ashraf Hakimi as we're heading into extra time in this round of 32 clash. Gakpo and Issa Diop, the goal scorers. And the players are back on the field. Mamadou Abi would have made a few tactical tweaks. Did make the 4 changes. Yassine on the right-hand side has looked good. Talbi coming on might allow Ismail Saibari to just operated as a traditional centre forward a lot more. Some of the Mexican fans have turned up and they're getting a real game here. And we're off and running for extra time here in Monterrey. 1-1 the scoreline after 90 minutes. Nusay Mazraoui with the header. He has made 2 clutch interceptions. Nusay Mazraoui as last man. And he had to get both of them spot on. The Netherlands, their game has changed since Wout Weghorst has come on as the centre forward. And winning those flick on and knock down headers, getting Netherlands up the pitch in a much swifter manner. Van Hecker, it's been a warrior-like performance by him. He was absolutely pouring down with blood. Took a few staples and then just carried on as if nothing's gone. 4 a.m. here, wake me up for pens. It's tough, man, the World Cup, especially the late games, and it's the late games that provide the most amount of drama. Well, so many of the group games that I slept through, the 3:30 a.m., the 6:30 a.m. games, they've been just humdingers, slam dunk of a games. So it's the late ones that are delivering the drama. If you're sleepy, I'm way beyond sleepy. Oof. Half an hour is going to be really, really hectic. The Cook Miners is going to take this free kick. Virgil van Dijk makes his way into the box. Cook Miners on his left foot will just look to find the fast tick here. Cook Miners delivers. Just hangs that in the air. Should be comfortable defensively. Van Dijk keeps the danger alive. Here's Cody Gakpo on the left-hand side. Looks for the cross into the box. Decent whip on it. They don't clear their lines. Somerville, can he get his shot away? Immediately shut down by Saibari, and the offside flag comes to the rescue. It might have taken a touch off the arm. Either way, Morocco survive. And Somerville is the main man, really, in the attacking sense. He's the one trying to make things happen as Yassine Bonu finds Nusay Mazraoui. And it's just a clip ball into the air. The Dutch will want to take a bit of control in extra time here. Players would have given an immense amount of effort in terms of trying to keep the clean sheet. Again, Cody Gakpo waiting for the ball to come to him rather than going towards the ball. They went with the back 4, and then once they got the goal, decided to go with the back 5. Brought on Quincy Timber and Jarell Hato. The plan ultimately backfiring for Ronald Koeman with Issa Diop hosting in the pretty much center of the goal. Free header for him. All the pace on the cross, but a terrific directed header. Well, Morocco will be happy to drag this game to pens, man. They were seeing their hopes being snatched out, and if they can drag this to pens, they'll feel like they have a real chance. Yassine Bonu is an outstanding penalty kick stopper. Here's Cook Miners. Cross comes into the box. Pretty aimless. Oh, Bonu punches. It's not the most convincing bit of goalkeeping, but Morocco get the foul. Frankie de Jong throws his hands in the air. He cannot believe some of the decisions that's gone against the Dutch. This was Bonu's punch. I don't think he's done too much wrong there, de Jong. He's got a point. And the Moroccan fans still believe And they have every right to do so because their team have shown the never say die spirit. Talked about the big calls need to be made by managers. Mohamed Ouahabi doing exactly that. Not many would have taken off Ayub Buadi and Brahim Diaz, but he had the foresight to do so, and he gets the reward for it. Here's the man who got the all-important equalizer, Issa Diop. El Murabe finds Salah Dean. Nila Linui. El Murabe again now. Finds Issa Diop. Morocco playing a bit of keep ball here. Well, this is what got them into trouble in the second half. They completely dominated the game in terms of possession and territory, but as soon as the Dutch brought on Wout Weghorst, the first header he wins, they end up scoring a goal courtesy of the quick break. It's Saladin finds Talbi. Talbi with a lovely reverse to Saibari. He's through on goal here. Oh, great composure from Rahimi. How does he not score? It's the post that saved the Dutch. Rahimi has to bury it. Is that the post or is it Bart Verbruggen? Either way, Saibari does everything right in terms of putting into the path of Rahimi. Rahimi sells Coop Miners. Oh, what a save by Bart Verbruggen, man. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant save. Rahimi cannot believe it. That was a chance for Morocco. Talbi starts it with a lovely reverse pass. Saibari does everything right in terms of putting it into the path. Rahimi shows the composure too. How close was that? Corner for Morocco. Again, their corner kicks have been really poor. Continues to be the same. Oh, that's a risky touch. And Frankie de Jong, his pass. Very poor there. This was a save by Bart Verbruggen. Wow. And the post as well coming to the rescue. Rahimi, who scored against Haiti, thought that he's going to be the man who's going to be at the front and back pages in Morocco tomorrow. But unfortunately for him, Bart Verbruggen comes up massive with that save. Again, the Dutch don't need any more warning shots here. In barring that Cody Gakpo goal, have the Dutch done enough in terms of a constant attacking threat? I'm not sure. Yes, Mazraoui has made a couple of heroic last-ditch interceptions, but other than that, Yassine Bono has not been tested whatsoever in this match. Here's Timber, Gakpo, Frankie de Jong, Jarell Hato making his way on that left-hand side. Frankie loses the ball, and now Morocco in business here. Rahimi opens up and tries to outrun Van Dijk. Van Dijk just clears that away. Looks like the Dutch are just holding on for dear life. The composure that Rahimi shows was so good as well to just get Coop Miners on the deck. Try to catch out Verbruggen at the near post. It was the right finish too, man. Thought maybe go for the fast stick. Do you think that Verbruggen is trying to make himself as big as possible to try and cover the far post? Just a game of chicken, a game of bluff that the goalkeeper wins. Here's Diop. Ayanuri now. It's pretty calm from Moroccan point of view. No water break by the looks of it. No hydration break in extra time. Thank you very much. Probably only get the break when 15 minutes are up of first half extra time action. Rahimi spins but doesn't get the return pass. Again, the Dutch remain ultra passive here. They're just continuing to move from side to side, covering the spaces. Here's Ismail Saibari, who put it perfectly into the path of Rahimi. Here's Salahuddin. Talbi. Ainui now. And patience being exercised. El Murabe. Approaching the business end of the first period of extra time. The Dutch in no mood to engage here. They have dropped a nasty deep block and asking Morocco to try and break them down. Interesting tactic here from the Dutch. Happy to take this to pens. Would be interesting. But I think that Rahimi chance would have just shocked them a little bit. Almost booked their spot for the round of 16, and if Rahimi scores, it's possibly ending up as the winner, and Morocco complete an incredible turnaround from absolutely nowhere. Nice pass between the lines for Saibari. What a challenge by Van Hecker. Van Hecker has been outstanding, man. He's been superb. It's Rahimi. Manzel Murabe. Enawi. Onto the right-hand side. All Morocco in terms of possession. And possession in extra time is so valuable, man. Because you're reaching the depths of the game. Wout Weghorst closes him down brilliantly, but might have come off his arm, or unfairly, unfortunately for the experienced centre forward. Doesn't get the rub of the green there. Yeah, the Dutch slightly lackluster. Yep. Oh, that's a very harsh call there from the ref. His arm is tucked close to his body. Yeah, the Dutch have played zero football in the first period of extra time. They look pretty much gassed and dead on their feet. The subs have been slightly negative from Ronald Koeman. And now if on the left-hand side finds Talbi, he's got the overlap if he wants it. Talbi looks to put that into the box. Finds Salahuddin. Talbi again. Drops the shoulder. A bit of shimmy and shake. Talbi tries to go on the outside. Difficult against Somerville, who's been excellent. Now helping out defensively too. Ooh, the challenge by Timber might be slightly rash on Nusay Mazraoui. Referee waves play on. Final 2 minutes of first half extra time action. Looks like this game will go to pens. I think the Dutch are pretty much resigned and want to take this to pens. They're running on fumes, and Ronald Koeman has not made. I mean, yes, he's brought on Wout Weghorst, Timber, and Jarell Hato, but they are not inspiring substitutes, man. I mean, somebody like Noah Lang may be coming on. He can add a bit of creativity and directness in their play, but looks like he's trusting the Somerville and Gakpo with his Rahimi. And now onto the right-hand side. Again, Morocco just keeping hold of the ball, not giving the Dutch a taste of it. Salahuddin. If there's going to be a winner in extra time, it's going to be Morocco, man. I mean, the Dutch might look to hit the sucker punch, but they're running on fumes. And nobody closing down. And now here's Salahuddin. Onto the left-hand side to Talbi. Ismail Saibari joins in the party on the left-hand side. The give and go nearly works. Van Dijk with some good defending. Quincy Timber wants the foul and he's going to get it. Well, the Dutch bench watching along nervously. First period of extra time. Paraguayan government just announced a national holiday. This is what it's all about. Just imagine if they beat France. I mean, it's not going to happen, but just imagine. National holiday, they're going to give the entire month off. Thrown for the Dutch. Trying to make something out of this one. I think the referee has blown the whistle to the end of the first period of extra time, and Bart Verbruggen's save has kept the Dutch in it. It was a world-class save after Ismail Saibari's clever pass to Rahimi. Rahimi did everything right, showed great bit of composure as well, went for the near post finish as well. But Bart Verbruggen's clutch save keeps it at 1-1, and we are 15 minutes away from another penalty shootout in the round of 32. We saw two late winners in stoppage time in normal time in the Canada, South Africa, and the Brazil-Japan game. And since then, we've seen two extra times, Germany and Paraguay. And now, the Dutch versus Morocco, 7 versus 8. Absolutely nothing to separate the two. And the pendulum really did swing in extra time, man. Since that Issa Diop goal, the Dutch have just stopped playing any sort of football. They need to really step it up in the second period. Bart Verbruggen's heroics might be needed with the Pens. Remember Tim Krul coming on for Jasper Cillessen in the 2014 World Cup? I don't think the Dutch are going to be making any sort of changes that way, but Bart Verbruggen will be trusted if you're heading into Pens. But Yassine Bonu, he really is a top shot stopper. The Dutch are making only one change. Only it's Geertruida coming on. More Sunderland influence. Geertruida's coming on. Again, it's a bit of a defensive move. Nusay Mazraoui is just pulling off a rallying cry here, trying to get his team pumped up for a massive 15 minutes coming up here in Monterrey. Geertruida is warming up furiously. No Tijani Reinders or Noah Lang by the looks of it. More defensive reinforcements needed for Ronald Koeman by the looks of it. Why are the Dutch managers so negative, man? Jeez. I mean, they've all looked at Johan Cruyff and said, yep, not that. Well, 15 minutes away from glory. Or 15 minutes away from yet another penalty shootout. Bobby looks slightly nervous. But they've matched the Dutchman throughout the match. They can very much believe in themselves. It's Morocco are trying to get that all-important winner. And the Dutch just happy to hold on here. 15 minutes to wrap up extra time. Either we see a winner here, or it's going to be separated on pens. And off and running for the second period of extra time. That Bart Verbruggen save, absolutely massive in the context of the match. We're going the distance. Would be nice if the Dutch showed some sort of inkling to play some football. In the way that Ronald Koeman has just left his midfield to die out there. Yes, he's added Quincy Timber for a bit of energy, but doesn't really help the... Just made a like-for-like substitution because Ryan Gravenberg came off. Terrell Hato making it a back five again, so Coop Miners is playing very reserved role. Yep, strategy remains lump it up to Wout Weghorst and hope that his flick on works in our favor. Ismail Saibari trying to make himself a nuisance, which he has throughout this match. Jarell Hato with a good challenge, and now Cody Gakpo on the left-hand side carrying on the run, but he's been heavily outnumbered. They win the ball back quite comfortably. Yassine there. Yassine wants the foul, and he's going to get it. Cody Gakpo with an outstretched challenge. Yassine has looked good on that right-hand side. Constant running. On to the left-hand side. Here's Rahimi. Jose Mazraoui. Yep, Dutch are going to continue to just sit back here. No pressing whatsoever. Just allow Morocco time and space on the ball. It's a dangerous ploy. I think Ronald Koeman's already marking down his 5 penalty takers. Wout Weghorst, Cody Gakpo, Frenkie de Jong, Somerville and Van Dijk maybe. Coop Miners does well. So does Jarell Hato. Quincy Timber brings it down under a bit of pressure. Cody Gakpo knocks down the challenge. He wants the foul. He's not going to get it. He's never going to get a foul for that. Ainaoui. Onto the right-hand side to Ashraf Hakimi. Yep. Dutch very much playing for pens here. Nothing's changed. This is where Morocco should just load up and fire crosses into the box. The Dutch have checked out here. They are just looking to cover spaces. Maybe just keep Issa Diop in the mixer if they need him to be. Give Ismail Saibari a bit of company and make it like a two-pronged attack. El Mourabe onto the left-hand side to Talbi. That's the man who provided the cross. Talked about the Sunderland influence in both teams. Brian Brobby, who started for the Dutch. So Talbi coming on, and now Geertruida's possibly coming on for the Dutch shortly. Otto does well to cover. Again, it's all Morocco in extra time, man. They've not let the Dutch have a sniff of the ball. Completely dominated. Dutch on their last legs by the looks of it. Here's Hakimi. Touch around the corner there by Rahimi. Comfortable for Bart Verbruggen. Well, if this tactic works for the Dutch, fair play, fair enough. And Ronald Koeman will be hailed as a hero, but boy, oh boy, have they gambled and taken a chance, man. This has not been vintage stuff. Again, more defenders coming on. What the hell is happening here? Who's number 3? This is really painful from a Dutch perspective, man. Frenkie de Jong's coming off. He was one of my penalty takers that I had in mind. He's off. And Martin de Roon is on in his place. And he's lost me here. He's completely lost me. The Dutch have certainly made it clear they have no intentions of even having a touch of the ball with Frenkie de Jong off. Martin de Roon coming on in his place. Here's Talbi. If there is a team that is going to get a winner here, it's going to be the Moroccans. The Dutch far too passive, far too negative for my liking. Ainaoui now. Ashraf Hakimi, who has been constant in this match. Captain's performance as usual from the 2-time European Oh, lovely turn there by Talbi. Turns on the afterburners, clips in a decent ball in. Good defending by Cook Miners. Wout Weghorst trying to make himself a nuisance. Well, with Wout Weghorst now on the pitch, that defensive line for Morocco can be at the halfway line because Wout Weghorst, bless his heart, does not have the pace. Does have the aerial capabilities, but Issa Diop just standing at the halfway line now as Cody Gakpo suffers cramps. Sabari, bit of sportsmanship there by main man for Morocco. We talked about the penalty takers for the Dutch, but now that Frankie de Jong is off, I'm expecting Martin de Roon to take it because otherwise I don't see why de Jong was sacrificed. So we're looking at Wout Weghorst, Cody Gakpo, Virgil van Dijk. To win the first header, Gakpo trying to make something out of nothing there. Out for a goal kick. Yep, it's going to be interesting to see the penalty takers for the Dutch. Still not done though. From Morocco's point of view, Sabari is going to take one. Hakimi is going to take the fifth. Those are two I'm pretty sure of. Then probably Talbi takes one. Al Nui takes one. Issa Diop probably using his experience. Cody Gakpo wants to be subbed off here because he feels he can't carry on. And it's Justin Kluivert who will be replacing Cody Gakpo, the man who gave the Dutch the lead soon after the hydration break. His race has been run. It was a highly emotional goal. And his race has been run here. Gakpo off. And Justin Kluivert on. Son of Patrick. Gakpo will have to take the long route across to get to his bench. Referee wanting a quick sub here. Well, 7 minutes plus stoppage time remain. That's a confirmation of the substitution. Kluivert on for Gakpo. But Kluivert can certainly strike it from distance. I think this is pretty much there. We got another confirmation of who's going to take another pen for the Dutch, and Kluivert's going to be one of them. But if Wout Weghorst can win one of those headers in and around the box and get Kluivert to shoot from distance, it seems like that's the only chance that Netherlands have in terms of trying to get a shot away here. Continues to be all Morocco in terms of possession. Ainawi finds Hakimi. There's the man who got the all-important equalizer. Well, the Dutch are looking to play a percentage game, which, if it doesn't work, it looks really bad on the manager. And if it works, he looks like a genius. So it's fine margins here between genius and insanity. Because Ronald Koeman, he has not ticked a lot of the boxes in terms of a managerial performance here today. But he can still see his side in the round of 16 against Canada if they prevail here, possibly through extra time or what looks more likely, the penalty shootout. Sabari does well. Talbi with the cross coming into the box. Good header there by Cook Miners. Had to get that spot on. Here's Somerville. Somerville's tried to make things happen on his lonesome. Him on that right-hand side has been a thankless job, really. He's tried to have a run every time. Challenge there by Salahadin. I think he's still on the ground, though. But thank you all for tuning in. 9 a.m. India time. This game going the distance. Sleep being compromised. But that's what the World Cup is all about. It's thrown up some cracking contests, man. Real drama right towards the end. Every single round of 32 game has been incredible in terms of a storyline. It's been the late show in terms of the goals. Oh, the original Unk, Clarence Seedorf. We're gonna have to salute the master. He's one of my favorite players in the 2000s. Clarence Seedorf, an absolute tank. If you see his quad muscles, you'll think that he is a completely different species. Mazraoui with the ball between the lines. Saibari does well. Can Morocco have all the incentive to commit bodies forward and attack here? Here's Ayanoui. Finds on the right-hand side. Yassine clips it. Good defensive header by Jean-Paul Van Hecker. But if this is going to pens, which it does look very, very likely, who's your money on, guys? Yassine Bono is an outstanding penalty kick stopper. Bart Verbruggen is a massive presence in goal. Very difficult to call this one, but either way, it's going to be heartbreak for either one of these teams. It's been pretty heartbreaking for the three teams that have exited the competition already. Japan and South Africa getting their hearts snatched in stoppage time, while Germany's shock exit courtesy of the penalty shootout means that our fourth team will be confirmed very shortly. Will Brazil play the winner of Norway and Ivory Coast? The winner of this contest face Canada. One side of the bracket being completed here as Yassine runs the ball out of play. Well, 2 minutes remaining. Looks like pens it is. Well, might as well. If you're heading into extra time, you rather want to see the beauty of the penalty shootout. Decent touch there by Somerville. It's cleared away. Cook Miners goes back to Bart Verbruggen. Well, that save by Bart Verbruggen of Rahimi was as clutch as it gets. Certainly saved the Dutch. There's Issa Diop. Ultimately powerless to stop the Diop header. Decent shifted pass onto the left-hand side. Certainly the last attack now in the match. 120 minutes up here. Talbi trying to play the 1-2 with Ismail Saibari. Good play there by Quincy Timber. Man, look at his dribbling style. It's exactly like Urian Timber. A carbon copy. If you told me that was Urian Timber, I'd believe you. There's Van Hecker. He's been one of the shining lights for the Dutch. Going to Spurs in the summer. Spurs putting a lot of faith in him. In excess of 70 million. Here's Justin Kluivert. Again, having to go backwards. That's been pretty much the Dutch way. The only time they've really gone forward has been the long ball to Wout Weghorst, and things have actually happened for the Dutch. But in terms of their pass, the move, the one-touch play around the corner, nothing. Very disappointing. They went with 3 forward players and hoped that that would be enough. The ultra-defensive approach nearly worked. But football gods do not reward cowardice. A minute remaining. The Dutch players pretty much dead on their feet. The amount of defending that they've had to do. Look at Ashraf Hakimi in the 121st minute on that right-hand side. This guy is not normal, man. They're heading into pens by the looks of it. Cook Miners will take this throw in. Well, the Dutch have played for pens ever since extra time has begun. No real intentions of scoring goals or venturing forward. Saibari, the latest to be cut up here. Well, this game is... The battle scars is a perfect indication of what this match has been about. It's been a battle. Saibari needs a change of shirt. And he needs to be patched up. He gets cut right below the eyebrow. He needs to be patched up because it's going to be leaking. Yeah. What are they waiting for? Somebody tend to him. Yeah, patch him up. A bit of Vaseline and he should be ready to go. Ismail Saibari did work tirelessly for his team as the centre forward, played a lot of on that left-hand side. But Morocco temporarily down to 10. Heavyish touch. Ooh, so risky there from Salah Ad-Din. He gets the 1-2. Morocco survive, and the referee, well, he's just bringing Ismail Saibari back onto the field. We're well past a minute of added on time and extra time as the referee blows the full-time whistle, and after extra time it remains 1-1, and we're going to pens. Back-to-back games will be decided on penalty shootout. Paraguay pulled off a massive upset against the Germans, and now it's between the number 7 and number 8 team in the world. We'll try and decide who's going to play Canada in the round of 16. Arise, both goalkeepers, Yassine Bono and Bart Verbruggen. One of you are going to have to be the heroes here. And after extra time, it's 1-1 between the two sides, and it's penalty shootout next up. Well, we talked about the penalty takers for both teams. Let's have a look at what Morocco will possibly be using. I'm expecting Saibari to take one, Rahimi to take one, Talbi to take one. Maybe the midfielder, Neil El takes one. And I'm pretty convinced that the fifth penalty taker will be Ashraf Hakimi for the Dutch. They've got Wout Weghorst certainly taking one. Cody Gakpo came off, which means Somerville might be promoted to the second. No Frankie de Jong, which means are two centre-halves going to step up and take it? I'm expecting Denzel Dumfries to take one, and possibly Van Hecke and Van Dijk to be the other two penalty takers for the Dutch. This is where the keepers will stand up and make their presence known. This is where they can be heroes for their countries. It's the penalty shootout in the World Cup. Stakes don't get higher than this one. Stand up and make their presence known for their countries. It's the penalty shootout in the World Cup. Stakes don't get higher than this one. Well, this is stressful
Stand
stuff.
up
And
this
this
is
is going to be
known.
really, really hectic for their countries. It's time for the penalty
It's the
shootout in the World Cup.
See the
Stakes
Yassine
don't
Bono.
get higher than this one. Well, this is stressful
Stand
stuff.
up.
Nah, you didn't miss anything in extra time. You saw the Verbruggen save. Other than that, there was nothing really much in extra time. Dutch pretty much happy to take this into pens. Is everything good with my audio? Just want to check, and just before the penalty shootout, Gotham just let me know if my audio is coming up well enough for you guys. Looks okay. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes if the audio is good. It's time for the penalty shootout. I'm echoing. Interesting. Yep. All good now? Sorted. Well, they're the two skippers, Virgil van Dijk and Ashraf Hakimi. But if you remember the penalty shootout between Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal, PSG won both coin tosses. While the side doesn't matter as much, whoever strikes first generally wins the penalty shootout, and that is what this coin toss is all about now. And the Dutch have won it. Ooh, that's a big coin toss won there. Hakimi loses the coin toss. Virgil van Dijk wins both of them, so he gets the side and they go first. Advantage Dutch. A penalty shootout to decide who will face Canada in the round of 16. But the Dutch possibly doing it the hard way. Their football didn't really warrant a place in the round of 16, but with the penalty shootout, a completely different ball game now as Koopmeiners steps up as the first penalty taker in the round of 32 clash here. Bart Verbruggen, the hero in extra time for the Dutch. Who's going to step up here? Yassine Bono has a very good record in terms of stopping pens, especially the big ones, the clutch pens that need to be stopped. The Dutch penalty takers don't look very convincing to me in terms of the names, but it's all about the technique here. Let's effing go. It's time for the penalty shootout in the round of 32. Who's going to face Canada in the round of 16? It's the Dutch to go first. It's Koopmeiners against Bono. Koopmeiners finds the bottom corner. Great penalty. Bono drives the right way, but that was a terrific penalty. Trusting his left foot. Hits it with power right into the corner. Very nicely done. Well, the Dutch celebrate. Winning both coin tosses is a huge leg up, man, in the penalty shootout. You not only get your side, but to go first. Massive. And now we're coming on here. The Roma midfielder looking to try and respond here to make it 1-1 in the penalty shootout. Big deep breath from the midfielder who had to hold it down in the absence of Ayoub Bouyadi in the second half. Ainawi up against Verbruggen. Ainawi with the pen and he blazes it over. I think it's clipped the crossbar. Advantage Netherlands. He has gone for power over placement. It is a huge mistake there from Neil Aliounui. I think he's clipped the crossbar. Yes, he has. He's gone for precision. But that might end up being very costly. And now Morocco have to do it again. They have to come from behind. Oh, you forgot about Justin Kluivert. Knew that he was going to take a pen since coming on. Kluivert to extend the advantage. Kluivert, stutter step, hits the base of the post. I know his miss has not been capitalized upon. Back-to-back misses. And there's still a chance for Morocco. Can the stutter step? I'll never understand it. He sent the keeper the wrong way. Eyes not on the ball, eyes on the keeper. And it's the post. Bono celebrates. And Neil Aliounui is now going to be breathing a huge sigh of relief only if Rahimi buries his pen. Chance for Morocco to draw level here. They've shown the fighting spirit throughout this match. And now to draw level in this penalty shootout. Rahimi up against Verbruggen. Rahimi, saved by Verbruggen. Oh, he slipped through. That was a chance there. Morocco get very lucky. That should have been saved. Verbruggen. What happened there? He gets his body behind it too. So how does it squirm through? Oh, that is so unfortunate. He does everything right. He kicks it into his own net, man. He makes the save and it just ricochets off his calf. Morocco, huge slice of luck. Just feels like it's their game, isn't it? When things like that go in your favor. When you missed your first pen and then Kluivert misses his and then you score in a fortuitous manner. It just feels like it just might end up being your evening. Massive pen here for Wout Weghorst. He's up against Yassine Bonu, the too experienced campaigner. Eyeball to eyeball here. Huge exhale here from Wout Weghorst. Top corner. What a penalty that is. Beyond all reasonable doubt. Terrific penalty that. Well, the Dutch lead. And it took a brilliant penalty. Well, Morocco's 2 penalties have been really poor. Somehow Rahimi scored. Now Talbi cannot afford to miss here. Came on and got the all-important assist for that Issa Diop goal. Verbruggen has seen 1 penalty hit the crossbar, 1 squirm under his body. It's Talbi! Good pen. Verbruggen dives the right way, but Talbi opens up with the side foot and finds the corner. Oof, deep exhales here from the penalty takers. And we are level now. Well, 1 miss each. It's Quinton Timber, second half substitute, brother of Urian. Taking this pen here, Yassine Bonu. He's going to try and outfox Quinton Timber here. Massive moment in this match. Bonu playing a few mind games here up against Quinton Timber. Timber's pen, oh, he drags it horribly wide. The mind games work, and it's Morocco now with the advantage if they can manage to convert. And from having the advantage to absolutely blowing it, the 2 substitutes who have come on have both missed their pens. That is a terrible pen by Quinton Timber, man. Awful pen. He's so off target too. And now they have an opportunity to get their noses in front. And this is the right move from Morocco. We generally see Hakimi as the 5th penalty taker. This is the all-important penalty. If they score, it's advantage Morocco. Hakimi with the captain's armband. Hakimi's penalty hits the post again. Can you believe it? It's the Dutch that survived this time. Wow. Look at the emotions here. Both sets of fans cannot believe what they're watching. Huge let off there. Achraf Hakimi hits the base of the post. That was the chance. The chance there for the Dutch. What is going on here, Gautam? This is some of the worst pens you'll ever see. And Crescencio Somerville with sudden death upon us. 2 scored, 2 missed by both teams. And that was the right decision to give your most experienced penalty taker, Achraf Hakimi, to give yourself a lead. But now it's chance for the Dutch to get their noses in front. The penalties have been really, really poor. The best pen so far has been Wout Weghorst. But other than that, it's been so confusing. Yassine Bonu continues to play mind games. Moving all across the line. Creating enough doubt. Somerville with the stutter lineup, and it's a brilliant save! Yassine Bonu just sticks out an arm nonchalantly and makes the all-important save. And now, Morocco are a kick away from booking their spot in the round of 16. Look at that save from Yassine Bonu, man. He just stands and sticks his paw out. Well, the Dutch pens have been shocking. The Morocco ones have been poor as well. And it felt that it was Achraf Hakimi who would take the last pen. Instead, it is Ismail Saibari who from 12 yards out can book Morocco's place in the round of 16. Verbruggen, can he be the hero again and drag it into sudden death again? Saibari takes a huge breath, says a quick prayer. This could be it. Ismail Saibari buries the pen and Morocco are through. The Dutch are out and Morocco deserve this. They've been the braver side. They never gave up. The Dutch's negative approach cost them. Ronald Koeman, this one's on you. Morocco will celebrate from Rabat to Casablanca all night long. And their World Cup hopes continue. Superb. Absolutely superb. Justice, Gautam. Absolutely. Tears for Wout Weghorst as his final World Cup ends in the penalty shootout. Fortune favors the brave. And the Dutch have been cowardice throughout this match. In extra time, they had no intentions of playing football. I told you, as soon as Verbruggen let that pen go underneath him, it just felt like the game was Morocco's. It just felt like this side, who do not know when they're beaten, will claw and fight their way till the very end and will reap the rewards. The Dutch go home in the round of 32, and they have nobody else to blame but themselves. Celebrations for Morocco, the number 7 side in the world, will face Canada in the round of 16, and Algeria fly the African flag. Exactly. The gods punish cowardice. And the Dutch, that is a performance that will have Johan Cruyff rolling in his grave. The Dutch need a huge shake-up, man. They cannot go back to the De Boers, the Koemans, the Van Gaals. That has to be moved on from now. They have to get some fresh ideas, bold ideas to try and take over this Dutch side who've got so much talent in midfield and in defense. We've seen Somerville as well. He's got so much potential. But Ismail Saibari, who drew a blank in the match but ends up scoring the all-important pen. And now Morocco will feel they've got a real chance for the quarterfinals too, man. Mamadou Habi will celebrate. Morocco will celebrate. And the Dutch go home. Well, one of my dark horses were to be eliminated today. And I'm glad it's the Dutch. And let the Moroccans go out there who have played with personality and bravery go further and try and fly the African flag forward. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. The early morning stream has been hectic, has been stressful, but I'm so glad I did it. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to be tuning in live tonight for Ivory Coast versus Norway. The return of Erling Haaland in the starting 11 is what we all want to see. Well, the World Cup round of 32 has delivered, and then some in terms of drama. 2 goals where stoppage time finishes were needed, and 2 games which were taken to pens have seen Germany knocked out, and now the Dutch will have to follow through. Congratulations to Morocco. They are your pre-quarter finalists. What's up, Ma? Why are you awake so early in the morning? It's 8 a.m. in Dubai, and the Dutch are out of here. Morocco did really well. Showed the bravery, showed a lot of heart. Cody Gakpo, amongst personal tragedy, putting it all aside and giving aside the all-important opening goal. But the Dutch kept on retreating, and they paid the price after Issa Diop's goal in stoppage time gave them the equalizer. In extra time, there was only going to be one winner because the Dutch had no interest in playing football. Morocco went toe-to-toe. They could have very easily won it in extra time, but Verbruggen pulled off a magnificent save of Rahimi. But in pens, the Moroccans prevail. It wasn't the best penalty shootout, not by any stretch of the imagination. It was pretty poor, a couple of terrible pens. But in the end, Ismail Saibari keeps his cool, keeps his nerve, and sends his team to the round of 16, where Canada await. Full time in Monterrey, 1-1 after extra time. Morocco win, 3-2 on pens. This is me, Suraj, signing off, and I will be live tonight for Ivory Coast versus Norway. That is going to be a cracking contest. Do tune in. It is going to be a fun one.